Hello everyone. It's been a little while since I've done one of these due to the international break. I've decided this tournament that they've done for money. Let's be fair, to try and jazz up friendlies because no one's really going to friendlies or interested about them anymore. I'm gonna just ignore. Yeah, we've qualified for the last four of a brand new made up tournament. Brilliant, and we had the Wayne Rooney testimonial in between that first game and the Premier League coming back, and it's the Premier League. Well, the Premier League's not where it's at. It is for me, 'cause I'm an Arsenal supporter. But what I'm going to start doing, I think, is I'm going to start following Brentford again during the international breaks. I think that's probably where my I say again. I went to Brentford a couple of times when I was a kid because my granddad was a season ticket holder there, and he would rather take me there than take me to Arsenal. So I think, I'm going to follow them during the international break. I think that's probably a better way of spending my time rather than worrying about what Harry Kane is doing for England and what goals he's claiming as his own for England, rather than letting other people have any glory. This is my first video back since international break, like I just say. So I'm just going to. I decided we're going to have a little chat about everything this week instead of just Arsenal. So let's start with Tottenham-Chelsea. Chelsea have been looking beatable. I've said it a couple of times on here that I thought we could have beaten them if we had have played them later in the season. We gave them a good game, a good 20 minutes at the Emirates, but they won it fair and square, I suppose. But they've been, their defence has been not dodgy, but beatable, get atable, if that is a thing. And Tottenham did that, and Tottenham, fair play to them. They've got good attacking players when they want to be. I think for the first goal, Kane dived. I say dived, he fell over. I don't think it was a foul, but the referee gave it. It was a great free kick in from Eriksen, spot on. Unfortunately, it was Dele Alli that scored, and I can't stand Dele Alli. But 1-0 up, and that's Chelsea got a mountain to climb then, and they've got a manager that looks like a geezer they've just pulled in from a park somewhere, smoking a tab on the go. When he turned around with that jacket and the tracksuit on, when he turned around, I was expecting to have a copy of The Sun in his back pocket or something. He doesn't look like a football manager. But then you got at Tottenham, you got a manager that thinks that the Chelsea Tottenham game is a bigger game than the North London derby. Sorry, mate, it's not. You might be closer rivals on the pitch now, but it will always be the North London derby. Will always be a bigger game than Tottenham-Chelsea. I mean, Tottenham don't get on with Arsenal. Arsenal don't get on with Tottenham. Tottenham don't get on with Chelsea. Arsenal don't get on with Chelsea. So the enemy. What's the saying? My enemy's enemy is my friend, or the friend of my. It's that sort of thing. It's one thing that Tottenham fans and Arsenal fans can get behind is a mutual dislike of the football club that is Chelsea. Anyway, that's another thing. Carrying on with the Chelsea game, I think that Foyt was lucky not to give away a penalty. I think that probably was a penalty on Hazard, but then the second one was, again, was it a dive? It's not really a dive, he fell over. It's not a simulation as well, but he could have been booked for that. But I think the first challenge on him by Foyt could have been given away as a penalty, and that would have changed the game. As it was, the Chelsea defenders decided to let Kane have a free shot at goal, and you can't really do that because he will get one of them in eventually. He tries his luck a lot, does Kane. When you watch it back, he does try to put it in a lot, and we saw it in the World Cup when he sort of squared it. And again, at the weekend, there was a couple of times when he could have passed it rather than take a shot on, but it's Harry Kane. He wants the Golden Boot more than Tottenham winning a trophy. It's all about personal glory for him to prove that he is a good player, which we all know he is. To be fair, he's not a one-season wonder. He's proved that now, but start being more of a team player. And then Son's goal. It was a good run. Great ball from. It wasn't a great ball, was it? It was a ball down the line from Dele Alli. The Chelsea players didn't read it. Jorginho's got no pace whatsoever, and he's forcing Kante out of the team in his best position. Kante should be playing as a holding midfielder, in the same way that Torreira is for Arsenal. You know, if when you take him out of the Arsenal side, now you notice it, and now when Chelsea are doing it, it shows a big gap. And I don't think that Kante should be the one that's making way for Jorginho. To be honest, he hadn't got the pace to keep up with Son. Son's quick, but I don't think he's lightning quick. And then David Luiz's half-arse challenge, he just flung a leg out. Bothered, he's got past me. It was his fault. Shouldn't have let him get past him down the wing, should he? So I'll stick my leg out to make it look like I'm doing something. But look, scored a goal. Never mind, whatever. That's what it seems to me like to be with David Luiz in that game. Lastly on this one, I'm going quickly because I can't stand talking about either of these two clubs, to be honest. But the lastly on that one, I think Pochettino was a little bit too happy for 3 points. It is only 3 points, mate. Apart from winning we've ended Chelsea's unbeaten run cup, you haven't won anything yet, and you are still off the top. And if we beat you on Sunday, we're only a point behind you. So, and we're rubbish, and you're having the best start you've ever had. So, you got to take that into consideration. Couple of other quick points. Ranieri in at Fulham. Glad to see Ranieri back. He had lost the Leicester dressing room. They obviously decided they were getting too big for they didn't need him anymore. It was all down to them. The Championship win. That's what it seemed to be like. People like your Jamie Vardy's. But I think now he's at Fulham. I think for Mitrovic and Schürrle, you can read Vardy and Mahrez. He's going to do it again. He's going to play fat back 4-4-2, and have those two being his two that everything goes through, and that will make Mitrovic happy. Schürrle is a good player. Let's not get that. Let's have it. He's a good player. He's like your couple of levels down. You've got your Kevin De Bruyne, and he's a couple down, but he's he's a good player. He's a good player, and he'll do well for Ranieri, and Ranieri will do well for him. He'll get the best out of him. So that's that. Let's get on to the other big one. United versus Palace. Now, we got slaughtered, probably quite rightly, for drawing 2 at Palace. We scored a goal after a handball. There was 2 penalties. The second one shouldn't have been given, in my humble opinion. But I still think the draw was a fair result in that game. But that was at Selhurst Park, and we were in the middle of that run with the draws. That was it. That was there. United should be beating Palace at Old Trafford. Palace had the chances to win that game, didn't they? Zaha, obviously with a point to prove. Every time he goes back to Old Trafford now, he's going to be like that. Pogba just looked on his lethargic time yesterday. It's like, got to come back here now. Listen to that moaning. Listen to the way he slaughtered all his players beforehand. It's Mourinho again. Oh, my players aren't this, my players aren't that. You don't like it, mate. Do one. David Moyes had more points at this point in the season than Mourinho. Mourinho's a special one. Mourinho was allowed to spend £89 million on Pogba. Oh, God knows that. Was it 75 million on Lukaku? David Moyes bought in Fellaini. I've said it so many times. I'm going to keep saying it. I'm sorry, United fans that are on here. I don't get a cult with Mourinho. He was can we say a breath of fresh air? Some people will. For me, I didn't like him from the start. Yes, he was a winner. He did what it took to win, but that was the problem. He was a nasty beep, and he just got teams to. We hadn't seen that kind of part of the bus style football in this country from a big club for a long time. When you've got big players, big game players, big name players, they can do that properly. It's effective. But now, not so much. People know about Mourinho, they know about the players. Maybe the players themselves know about Mourinho and don't want it. I think Martial doesn't want to be playing that sort of football. Pogba doesn't want to be playing that style of football. Sanchez's body language, at Old Trafford at the moment is the same as it was for us around about this time last year. So I think he's probably going to go in January. Japan or Paris. I can't see him going anywhere else. He's on too much money. He probably wants too much money. But I genuinely don't see him keeping him just because I don't think they're seeing it as a good investment anymore, and he doesn't want to be that. You can tell. Well, let's say you can tell, looking at it, and looking at how he was when we had him last year. I think it looks like he wants to go. He's not used to being a sub. He's not used to not being the hub of the team. But you made your bed, Alexis. You got lying it. You wanted to go to Man City and work under Pep Guardiola again, even though he was, at Barca while you were there. But you asked for too much money or whatever. We don't know. But unfortunately, you're starting to drop a bit, and the player you were when you came over at Arsenal is certainly not the player that you are now, and that's a shame because I enjoyed watching you play for Arsenal. To be fair, talking to him like he's watching this. He's not going to be watching me, is he? He don't give a crap. But you know what I mean. You're all fans. You know what I'm talking about. We can all see it week in, week out. It's. As much as it's lovely to see it, United crumbling, the empire crumble has definitely gone. It's still weird to see this club that is synonymous with the Premier League just stinking the place up. It's weird. But then I did a thing the other day about Pep Guardiola. He gets so much respect from the press and so much love and that, and he's one of those players that, in a weird kind of way, it's sort of like a Mourinho in that respect. It's all about show and what he can do and making sure that the TV's on him and he's going and giving it all this. But as I said the other day, I put a little thing up on Fan Vibe that do it in Newcastle. It's easier to coach. I mean, don't get me wrong, right? Just said everything that Mourinho is doing at Old Trafford. He's got some of the best players that money can buy there, same as Pep. So you've got to have the right sort of players, okay? I'll give you that. You've got to scout the right players. They've got to fit into your system, your style of play. Get that. But when you can spend £100 million in a window, on two players, when you can spend £50 million on a fullback, and that fullback is Kyle Walker, then it's easier than doing it down, even at Arsenal, or like I say, Newcastle or West Ham. Pellegrini's gone down to West Ham, see if he can do it there. Now, I respect that. He's done the Man City thing. But Pep Guardiola, right? Let's read it off again. These are all facts, right? I'm not having a pop. He's managed Barcelona, he's managed Bayern Munich, and he's managed Man City. The three teams that he's managed in the three leagues have all been the wealthiest, where no one can touch them financially. And they're already, so Barcelona were already there. He stepped up and took over from Rijkaard, and Rijkaard was already doing well. Bayern Munich, they were already doing well. He came in, Pellegrini won a couple of cups, the Premier League and whatnot, so it wasn't like he's taken a small club and he's made them big in a way that probably, Man City are never a small club, but Kevin Keegan came in and took Man City on, Stuart Pearce and that lot. They built everything that was there, and then Thaksin Shinawatra took over with Sven-Göran Eriksson, and that's when that started to roll. And if it wasn't for that, then Abu Dhabi wouldn't have come in, with the money. So it's not like he's had to build this club up like Keegan did at Newcastle. Newcastle, again, not a small club, don't get me wrong, but what I'm saying is he's built that, Keegan's football and style of football and what he achieved paved the way to get a bigger, better stadium and allowed them to sell Andy Cole for $7.5 million, but bringing out Alan Shearer, Les Ferdinand, Faustino Asprilla. Pep's never had to work like this, and when you get him into the Champions League and he's coming up against the teams with the same sort of financial clout as he's got, or are the best in their league as well, that's when he struggles. He doesn't do well at the European League because these players start to even themselves out. You know, in the Premier League, you can have a big pot of players like your Mahrez. When you take Mahrez away from Leicester, that makes Leicester instantly weaker and you instantly stronger. So then it's one less team that it starts to make that team that starts to filter down. But when you've got your PSGs or your Bayern Munichs or your Real Madrids or your Barcelonas, you know, suddenly the playing field levels out a bit. And all those teams play the same style of football, or have got players that can do the same style of football as you. Then it comes down to what you're really like as a manager. I mean, that's what, in a way, is what Mourinho is having to struggle with now. He's actually having to go through a crisis, which he's never had to do before. He normally walks away. He hasn't done that. So I would love to see Pep, after 3 years, go, you know, I've won this, I've won that, I've won this. I'm going to try it. I'm going to take these, my tactics, where top players know how to play it and can work that system brilliantly. I'm going to step down a level and see if I can get those guys up to there. It don't even need to be right up the tops. They just need to push it. See if we can get them up to another level. See if we can get your Newcastles or whatever consistently challenging for top 8, top 6, 4, you know, 4th spot. If he can do that, then I'll say he's a great coach. But at the moment, he's doing good things with great players. That's my little thing on Pep. It doesn't really affect me. I'm an Arsenal supporter. We're going to be nowhere near that top 1 for a little while. But what we are going to be doing is getting our groove back. You know, and there we are. That brings us on to it. 16 games unbeaten since we lost to Chelsea. Yeah, all right. You know, look at Twitter. Go on Twitter now. Have a little look. You'll laugh. You'll cry. You'll do all sorts, because there's people on there going, oh yeah, well, we've beaten Bournemouth, but what have we done otherwise? Really, it's nothing, is it? You know, it's against nothing teams, blah blah blah. But you can only beat or play the teams that are in front of you, and we're doing that, and we're not losing. You know, we lost this game 2-1 last year. We got these nonsense stats coming out still about only being, you know, still not leading at half time. Don't bother me. What happens at full time, that's what bothers me. Iwobi needs. Sorry, I'm going to go quickly. Iwobi, I've waffled on for everything else, but Iwobi had a good game. He needs to get better at doing it. Someone needs to take him aside, like Sir Alex Ferguson did with Ronnie. I'm not comparing the two, but he needs to take him to one side and say, look, don't do the drag backs and stuff in your own half. Do that when you're 3-4-0 up, and then, you know, do your tricks and stuff. A little bit strange dropping Ozil because of the physicality of Bournemouth. Wasn't sure about that. They're not known for their physicality, but fair enough. If you want to drop him, you drop him. Maybe it'll get the best out of him for the North London derby. I like Henrik Mkhitaryan as a footballer. He's technically very gifted, but I think he's too slow for our style of play. Mustafi did well again at the back until that stupid lunge at the end. He's got that in him. He does that. He did it against Palace. It's just stupid lunges. Cut that out and we'll be fine. Aubameyang, 10 and 13. He's a goal poacher. You've got to have him on your side. Loving him. Loving having him in the team. Leno's looking better every time. And one last little quick thing. What was going on with Matthew Upson's head? I watched the game live on Sky, and then I've just I rewatched the highlights to see how the BBC packaged it. Matthew Upson, it's like he was like Batman. He couldn't turn his head. What was up with that? So I hope Matthew's all right, and there's no real serious injury there. That's the end of this video. We got the Europa League coming up in midweek. I'll do another one then. Thanks for liking it and watching it. Please feel free to comment on YouTube and FanVibe. If you go to FanVibe, FANVYBE.com. Come and see me there. JT Gooner. I'm on Twitter as the at Gooner Armchair. Would love to hear your comments. Keep going. Keep enjoying the football. Support your teams. Positivity is better than negativity, but we all like to have a little moan and a groan as well as a laugh. So that's what we're all here for. It's just a game at the end of the day, innit? Cheers again. See you later.